Ladies and gentlemen, live in love and color, welcome to another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling, where I have a little help of my friends. Here we'll discuss the highs and lows of reselling and dive into great conversation. We're positive that you're going to hear something that's going to help you become a better reseller. My name is Ray.
I'm Kristen.
And yeah, my name is Ray, and I'm joined with two of my favorite co-host podcasters on the planet. Joe may pop on or may not pop on, depending on how things are looking like. But I digress. We have our girl, Kristen. And we have Brendan Big Time Flips.
Whoa. That was flat. Super flat.
Ooh. And our guest for today, ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than David Beckham himself. Breezy Fines, or Breezy Flippers.
Hey.
There we go.
Ooh, good music. Good choice.
Yeah, nice choice.
David, I had a Chat GPT intro for you. I don't know if you want to hear it or not.
Sure, let's hear it.
You want to give it up? So let's see here. Today, we have a guest whose name turns heads, and no, not that David Beckham, but he's kicking goals out of his own into the reselling game. He's the force behind Breezy Flippers on YouTube, sharing killer finds, thrifting finds, and the real-life hustle as a reseller. Whether he's sourcing from yard sales or packing up profits, this guy knows how to make it look like a breeze. Let's get a warm welcome to the one and only David Beckham.
Nice. That was good.
That was really good. I'll have to keep that one.
Yeah.
So
I'll copy and paste it. I'll send it to you. Copy and paste it.
Thank you, man.
But But David, thank you so much for coming on. I know
Thank you.
The people that are listening to this may not know too much about you because you're like an up and coming. I know that you do the Finders Flip. Was it the Finders Flippers
Resell podcast?
Flippers Resell podcast with Wes and Stuart and yourself, right? Is there anybody?
Yeah. No, Johnny's on there.
Johnny. That's right.
I'm a fill-in guest or I'm a fill-in host whenever they need me. So, but I just enjoy that. It's just kind of fun. They're good guys.
Good people.
And then I also have now my own, I do a YouTube channel as well. And it just, I don't know what happened this weekend. It blew up. Over 300 new subs. I put a video out last Thursday and I'm talking a lot about AI and I'm 3 away from 500 now. So
let's go.
Yeah,
well, you'll definitely hit it by the time this podcast comes out. But so guys, we'll make sure to link David's socials down in the description below so you guys can follow him. But David, for the people who may not know you, give us a little brief intro. I know that you're a part-time reseller. I don't know how long you've been doing this and why you've been doing this and all that good stuff. So give us a little brief introduction, if you will.
Sure. I actually have been on eBay when it was called Auction Web back in 1995.
Wow.
1997 is when my account actually started on October. So it's not that I've been selling that long. I treated eBay as kind of an ATM. When I needed money, I sold something, I got something. That was great. I did have for a while in the very beginning when I was on Auction Web, I was selling information disc because this was back in the time you think about the internet, which was kind of coming to reality, that we were starting to use. I was one of the first people that started using the internet while I was in college because I connected into their mainframe and we pulled down information. So I was selling on Auction Web when it got popular, little diskettes of information that are like blog posts. So it did have like 10,000 blog posts on 10 discs, 3.5-inch floppies, and I'd sell those. Yeah, I was selling them for like $25-$30 each. And that was in the day when you sent it out or you waited for the money to come in, then you sent it out. I mean, it's a check or cash and mail. It was just crazy. But yeah, I've been a serial entrepreneur most of my life. I was in college. I was actually in Amway for a while.
Oh, you did.
I'm a little embarrassed to talk about that, to be honest.
In college?
In college, I was in Amway. I actually got up to Silver Direct. I mean, I was.
Wow.
I don't know how it was.
Do you have any of the rewards? Do you have any of the awards like that you put it like?
I don't anymore. The thing was, it's like I was really good at spinning the circles, as they called it. I got up in front of people. I was actually doing. I was doing meetings with 50, 60, one time 150 people in there, and getting people to sign up and stuff. I mean, it was a different world back then, but
Yeah.
But for the people that don't know what Amway is, could you give us a little brief intro? Because I know that I've heard the name, and I know it's like a pyramid business, if you will.
It's
So
somewhat a pyramid. It's what they would call multi-level marketing back then is
there you
what they
go.
would say. But you had a basic top and then everything down. But you basically, it was just at that time it was products. They were famous for their soap products, and so you would just buy the stuff that you normally buy, but you would buy their stuff. And it was okay for a while, but trust me, my friends, neighbors, everybody got tired of it. And then at some point we realized we were putting more money in it than not. So that was one that went by the wayside. So we kind of got out of that. But, I say serial entrepreneur because I keep trying different businesses all the time through my whole life. And it's like, and the funny part was eBay was always there. And I don't know why I never latched on to that. He's perfect. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why I never really latched on to eBay. And that's where the kind of story is funny because I tried other businesses. I actually had a website business for a while. When websites just started out, I started building websites with a friend of mine and we partnered up and we build websites for people. We were selling websites to people and they were going, why do I need this? Because, you want this because all the information is out there so people can learn about your business. And that's going to be who's going to use that, so it was crazy. And then, I graduated from college in 96. So it was in 90 to 96. It took 6 years to get through because I changed majors like 4 times. So, I know. So I ended up I started out in engineering, computer engineering. Then I went to software engineering. Then I went to computer science and I ended up in marketing. So, but that's where I ended up getting my degree and then my MBA later. But I just kept trying different things. And I got in with the company back in 1997 that I moved down to Florida for. I've been with them since then. So the company I work for now, and I won't mention them, but I've been with them for a long time. They've been good to me and I enjoy what I do. But in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to do something extra because one, taxes kill you. And if you make money and you don't have anything to write off, it's killing me. So I kept looking for a business. I was doing woodworking for a while. I was actually selling pallet wood as pallet things. I'd make like these little bottle openers. And
do you still?
No, I don't have time. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. I did the woodwork. All the shelves you see behind me, I did all those myself.
Oh, wow.
So, but I enjoyed it and it was fun. But the problem was, even though we had a little booth and we were selling them, we weren't making great money and it's a lot of work. So that didn't really go well. And I think it was about just before the pandemic, right about that time, we said, all right, something's got to give. I'm tired of paying 10 grand in taxes a year. Let's find a business that we can do and something. And I'm still eBay was still there, right? I'm still
Yep.
And we said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell on Amazon. This is great. So again, serial entrepreneur. I bought a course. I learned all this stuff, and it was a good course. The guys that were there was good. I mean, and I'm still have the lifetime membership with their information. But I started going through it, started getting stuff set up. I set up my LLC. I got insurance. I did all this stuff, and then I started going, this is a lot of money off the bat, And I'm like, we need seed money. So I go, you know what? Let's do this. I have this eBay account. Let's just sell all this stuff that we have that's around the house, make some seed money. And so next thing I know, we did that and it just blew up, right? It was like, wow. And I started going, wait a minute, this is a whole lot easier. It's like the light bulb came on and
I
we're
feel
like
my life is parallel to that. Deja vu. Yeah.
It's just crazy. So I was like, we just we had to buckle down and say, all right, what are we going to do? Are we going to do Amazon? Or are we going to do eBay? And my wife and I were just like, you know what? You're really good at eBay. Just do eBay. I'm like, yeah. All right. So in 6 months, we were top sellers. And then, I mean, it's not like we're making a ton of money at it. Our first year, we put, it was a half a year. We started in July. I think it was 21. We did about 14,000. The next year, we went up to about 20 something. I mean, so last year, we did a little over 30K. This year, we're shooting for 50. We're probably on our way because now we also are doing dipped it. So,
so you're part-time though. That's part-time money.
Yeah, it's part-time money. Yeah. That's what's crazy. And you can't do that. You couldn't do that driving Uber, or you can't do that, anything else. I mean, it's just, and the time commitment, you know, I mean, I probably am more part-time than some. I mean, I put in a lot of time every day. Yeah, I know. I do too. And now starting this YouTube channel, I thought, oh, well, let's just do this because I need to boost it a little bit. That's a lot of work.
Work. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. I was doing
Yeah.
2 videos a week for a while, and I can't keep up. So I'm just back
That's
to
what
one.
I do 2 videos a week. And,
Okay.
but like I said, I, you know, it's for a while I was just doing it. There's like, you know, I get one subscriber. I don't know what I said last week. I started talking about AI, which I'm big in technology. I'm also a certified, Salesforce AI specialist. So I know AI and how that works and stuff. So I start talking about that. That's something I've kind of been leaning in on, trying to help resellers understand how to use it. But my whole point of the video wasn't that AI is the editing sucks. Thank you. Yes, it does. But the whole point of the video wasn't that, you know, AI should use it for everything. The whole point of the video was your best resource is your brain, is learning. And you can't, sometimes you go into a garage sale or an estate sale or something, you don't have internet. You don't know. So you take your best guess. And that's the way I learned, is watching you guys. I've watched, you know, Commonwealth Picker. I've watched ADH Dave. You know, all these guys that I kind of know. And now I'm friends with Mike, Death Pile Picker. He lives right up the road from me. And
lucky.
yeah. And then I live in the same area as Angie. So.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Yeah. She's literally in Pensacola. I'm in Gold
Does
Creek.
she know that you? Why don't you guys hang out?
Well, I have not met her yet. I missed the opportunity because when they had a big get together with Mike, Death Pile Picker, had a whole bunch of people here.
Yeah.
They were all I was in Augusta at the Augusta Nationals at the Masters, so I couldn't go. So.
Oh, you were at the Masters. When?
I'm sorry.
So rough. I'm so sorry for
2 days
you.
there. It was horrible. No, it was awesome. It was the best time of my life. So.
I bet.
But yeah, so that's kind of, you know, where I've been. I mean, you know, I've got this new goal. I'm 59. I'll have 28 years. 59. I know. Thank
Good
you.
look great.
Thank you. But
wow,
I have 2 more years. I'll have 30 years. And my goal in my head is that I'd like to retire, just pay myself the rest of those years, you know, to hit the whatever magic retirement night and make this business pay for itself. So, and just kind of retire. So my wife is ready to retire now. She's 62. So, you know, we could do that. If we could hit that goal this year, that's our goal. So that's a little bit about me. Other than that, I have 2 beautiful daughters, one's 25, one's 28 or 29. She'll be 29 this year. And I have a 4-year-old grandson. My oldest daughter is a cosmetologist. She's a savant. Everybody in my family is an artist except for me. So that's the only thing I could do good was woodworking and marketing. That's my art. But
that's a talent, though. Marketing can be hard for some people.
It is hard. It is hard.
I mean, you still went to the Masters, so.
Yeah.
Well,
my oldest daughter's husband just got out of the military. He spent 11 years in the Air Force, and he went directly to work for Augusta National. So the reason we get to go is because he works there. And so
I was just gonna say, how long did you wait for them to get those tickets? Because those are like,
they're hard to get. I could go every year if I want. So it's really cool. So I know
just get the merch so you can flip it.
I did. I bought. I'm stupid because I didn't buy enough. So those gnomes, I wish I'd have bought one every day I went there, because they're selling for $400. You get them for $49.
Wow.
And I bought these little the little koozie cups. They're little yellow koozies. I bought those for $5 each, and I'm flipping them for $25. So I didn't buy enough of them, but I thought I'll do that. And I also bought a hat, and I had a hat and a program, and I sold that. The hat was like $33. I sold everything for $90. So with the program, so
Master stuff sells so well, especially
right
next
at
time
that time.
Next time you go, if you're gonna buy merch, just bring in like a wagon, like just a wagon.
Yeah, some people like fly in from like Japan and stuff, and that's all they do is buy merch.
Oh, you should. I thought I was spending a lot. I spent just under $500, and I thought, oh man, this is crazy. Well, the lady,
people spend like $20K there.
Yeah,
she dropped $8,000. I mean, it was like, oh my god. So I don't know, but they do kind of frown on you buying a bunch of stuff that's the same, because they know if you're trying to flip it or something. So
I heard that, and I heard that you can lose your ticket privilege if you do that too much.
Yeah, so that's why I wasn't trying to do anything. I just got some stuff for me, and then I thought, well, I'll just sell this and get it. But I'm not selling my gnome because my kids gave that to me, so my gnome I'm keeping. But and then we bought one for my wife's mom, so she has one too. But yeah, it's it's but yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it.
That's awesome. I knew somebody that had gone there and had intentions of being able to get a bunch of stuff so that they could flip it, but also knew that they could lose their ticket privileges. So they went with this like whole big long list. You know, like when you go to a yard sale and you're like, I'm buying this for my nephew, and you don't have one, you know. They went with this list, and the list said Brian wants a hat.
Oh,
Susie
no.
wants a shirt. You know, so they had this huge list of all the
like sitting there like checking it off while
to make it look like they weren't really going to take it home and flip it all. So
yeah.
Dang, that's another level.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't want to do all that, but I did think, you know, if you have like you sit and you have a couple drinks and stuff, the cups, they were selling those too. And I've got a bunch of those. I just haven't sold them yet, but because it's kind of funny because you'll see all the guys that walk around the course. Like we were there on Thursday and Friday of the tournament. So Thursday and Friday for the first 2 days. They walk around the course and I mean, they start drinking beer at 8 o'clock and then you'll see a stack of cups. They'll just keep all their cups like stacked up like this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Beers. Yeah. They'll just be drinking out of their cups all day. So I'm like, those cups actually sell for, like $25 for 4 cups. I'm like, I should have grabbed more cups. I didn't drink any beer. So I should have had more beers, I guess.
Lemonade. What is it? Those
dollar
pimento cheese sandwiches or what are they selling? Like $2 or what were they?
Yeah. They were like $1.50, I think. I mean, they are okay. They're famous, but I was like, I'm not a big pimento guy, but their club was awesome. So they didn't pay much for food, which was really cool. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it.
That's awesome. So David, going back to reselling, let's, you know, you mentioned you're selling a little bit on the online marketplace of District. Why that instead of all the others?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I was on every market for a while because I used List Perfectly and I was cross-listing everything. And I just wasn't getting any traction on Mercari or Poshmark, and it was just nothing. Depop, I'd never sold anything on it, you know. So, or what is the other one? I forget too. So I tried everything, and it just didn't go anywhere. So I thought, oh my God, you know, Whatnot was coming about. It was time to try that. So I jumped onto the Whatnot train, got in there, and I had several shows. I just realized that what I had compared to what other people do, especially in the categories that I was trying to sell in, comics and such, it just wasn't, I didn't have enough firepower to do that. So I kind of got out of all that. And then just recently, you know, when we started I was one of the first people that signed up on Dibdit for District, you know, but I didn't start selling until earlier this year. So I thought, you know, I was just going to go in on that, drop all the other stuff. These guys they brought the audience for me in my first couple sales. I mean, we killed it. I mean, I haven't had that many sales. We've made over $5,000 on just the stuff that we're selling. And it's not,
that's awesome.
The junk. We're selling the stuff that's kind of slow movers on eBay, but now we're actually sourcing for it. So the only thing we're doing is eBay and Dibdit. That's it. So we're sourcing specifically for those different things. We also have a vendor booth, that we also sell into, but I'm still debating on that right now. So I had a whole video about that, how, you know, the difficulty of running a vendor booth and whether or not it's worth it, you know.
I feel like so many sellers, and especially like Florida, have vendor booths. Like it's just like it's a different animal. Like it's more, I don't know, it's easier to do down there for some reason.
And you know, it is, and it does okay. I mean, it makes booth rent every month plus a little bit of money. Now this month's a little slow, but everything's slow right now. This economy's kind of killing everybody.
And it's getting to summer, and it's, you know, it's starting to become the dreaded summer slowdown.
Yeah, and you know, so that was one reason why I was looking at doing, you know, District and Dibdit, was to kind of offset that summer slowdown, you know, to be able to kind of get in there and do some other stuff to make some money, because our first quarter this year on eBay killed. We were 40-something% ahead of where we were last year. I thought, oh man, this is going to be a great year. Our second quarter, it's kind of like just dying. And I mean, I hear all these other people going, "Oh, we're having great days. We're having great days." And I'm like, okay, good. But then I also hear other people saying the same thing. But I really think it depends on what you're selling. I mean, we're heavy into the collectibles and different things, but we also have a lot of just regular stuff too, clothes and different things. And, you know, we're not a big time clothes. I don't want to, it's not my favorite thing to sell, but, you know, we just try to, you know, find the things that are kind of moving. So I think that's what I'm getting ready to work on next is a little bit of analysis to see what's selling, maybe try to ramp that up a little bit and do a little better job at sourcing that stuff.
That's like me.
I like it.
I don't know if you like we talked about this before, but if it's something I don't like to sell, it's like a job to me. Like clothes, I just don't like it.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that, man. I love comics. I love cards. I love the collectibles. I like that stuff because it's just kind of fun. You can see behind me. I like that stuff. And to me, I enjoy it. I don't mind photographing it. I don't mind searching it and sourcing it. But, you know, I'll also pick up digital cameras. I'll pick up, you know, whatever that's selling right now. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's the stuff you enjoy. It's easier to list. I wish I could enjoy clothing, but I don't want to deal with all the return aspects and all that. Now I have hats, a lot of those. I still have almost 450 hats in my inventory.
Wow.
So that's what I started out as. I thought, oh, I'll do hats because, you know, you can do that. But I do sell a lot of hats. They're easy to photograph. I was, you know, taking time to clean every one of them. I don't do that anymore. Unless I get one that's really dirty. I actually have a system. I throw it in the dishwasher with a cap cover and it cleans them up really good. And I dry them outside. And I mean,
the dishwasher?
Yeah. So top rack of the dishwasher. I use a cap holder where it actually holds the cap.
That frame.
I put them in there and just run them on the dishwasher and they come out sparkly clean. So
interesting.
You dry them outside and then you shape them a little bit and spray them with some
starch,
sizing starch, and then or steam them or whatever. But I don't spend a lot of time on them anymore because I just, you know, I mean, I'm not getting a ton of money for some of them. Yeah, exactly. So I can produce more, do more. Yeah. So
did you learn your hat cleaning skills?
There you go.
Oh yeah. Learn that from the Reseller Information Network guys?
Chernock.
Have you seen their hat cleaning videos?
Yeah, Chernock goes way beyond what I can do, but I learned some of the stuff from him. I mean, some of the basic stuff like just brushing it, using alcohol wipes and just using the brush and clean it out. 90% of the time, it'll clean a hat perfectly. So I just use that and, you know, then you throw it in an inventory. It's easy. I have probably, you know, 100 hats in one bin. So you just kind of fold them and put them into each other and they stack nicely and got a good inventory system. So
love it. So David, what do you like to sell? If you don't like clothing and you have 400 something hats, what are we selling? Like what gets David Beckham's you know, what do you call it?
What kind of hats do you have? Like
what do you feel about soccer jerseys?
Yeah, right.
I actually have some of those. No, I mean, I like to sell. Honestly, I like selling comics and the collectible stuff. So I kind of really enjoy that. I have a lot of graded comics, almost probably 200 graded comics. You kind of see some behind me, but they're all over the place. I got into comics about 3 years ago and really learned a lot. I just bought some books and started really kind of learning about it. I didn't get them as kids a lot. I didn't read them a lot. But I did like them. And then I really got into the art. So I really enjoyed that. I don't mind other stuff like, I mean, nothing really kind of gets my juices flowing, you know, like a good camera or something. But no, I don't care. But as far as hats, Brendan, I just, for a while I was buying bulk like hats. I would buy like 300-400 at a time and then toss out ones that were, you know, that really needed way more work than I was willing to do, clean the ones that I needed. And they're just regular hats. You would be surprised at the hats you sell. I'll go to my wife and go, can you believe this hat sold? It's got the stupidest logo or just something, or it's just a bank, like a Platte Valley Bank. You ever heard of Platte Valley Bank?
Never.
Sold it for $8.99. I don't, you know, I mean, so, and I always do the same thing. All my hats are $4.99 shipping, flat out. That's just the way it is, no matter where it's at. And it does good. So I'll sell at least 1 or 2 hats a week. You know, it's maybe 3 or 4 sometimes. It just depends on the week. But hats and comics right now seems like to be the bread and butter of what we have.
Hats and comics. All right. So I don't know anything about comic books. I don't know if Brennan and Kristen do. I don't know if
Zero.
Kristen's a big comic book nerd over there,
I
but
think she is.
So-
I think she is.
yeah, for sure. What's your favorite superhero, Kristen?
Wonder
Should've
Woman,
known.
duh.
Oh.
Yeah. I figured.
So, David, if us three went out to a garage sale, us three, that don't know anything about comics, and we happen to stumble upon a person that has a ton of comic books,
Mhm.
like what are we looking for? Like what are some tips and tricks that you can give us to just kind of like a class 101 of comic books to flip on eBay that's going to make us a little bit dangerous when we're out there on the yard sale trail?
I would say that first of all, look for the ones, 12-cent comics. Those are going to be your older ones. You're talking about Silver Age and Golden Age. These are going to be your older comics. So condition is key. If you're looking for comics that, if the cover's torn, different things. But I mean, there are some that even with the torn covers are going to do well. You find a Amazing Fantasy 15. Doesn't matter what shape it's in, it's worth, thousands of dollars. So it's the first appearance of Spider-Man. So, but you have to, you kind of know, you just kind of have to know a little bit about the characters. Your more popular character is always going to be Spider-Man. Superman's okay, but I find more people actually like Marvel Comics than DC. Independents are something that's been around for a long time, but the independents are kind of, a lot of the ones that are newer are more, different
Independents, like the makers, or what?
Yeah, the independents. Yeah, the independents would be something other than DC or Marvel, right? So Image would
was
be
it like Dark Horse, Image?
Dark Horse, yeah, all of those are kind of independents. There
There
are some good ones in there. There's some very good ones in there, but 12 cent, 20 cent comics, 25-cent comics, even up to 35-cent comics, you're dealing with that kind of that Silver Age. Condition are good, like I said,
What about like Darkwing Duck or Archie? Any of
Isn't
those
that Dark Horse is Darkwing Duck, isn't it?
No,
or Disney?
No, that's Disney.
Darkwing Duck, I thought maybe it's Image. I'm not sure if it's Image. I can't remember.
Am I thinking of who's the rich duck? What's his name?
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck. Yeah.
But Darkwing Duck has a comic too.
Yeah,
there's some Dark Horse comics.
Yeah, Dell did a lot of Duck comics. So like the Scrooge McDuck was Dell. So a lot of those do okay. Like I mean, they're not a lot of them that are going to be really valuable, but I would definitely say, that's you could pick those up because typically those Dell comics are 10, 12-cent comics. They're old. So we do pretty good. I do good with those on Divd. Actually, I got some guys that like to have ducks. But I would say looking for different ones like that, some unique ones. If you see, any of the older Marvel ones, it's just hard to say. I always say if you find a #1 issue, that's usually good. Doesn't always mean it's a key, but a #1 issue is sometimes a good thing to grab, or any kind of like anniversary issues, like 100 or 50. Archie comics, some of them do really well. I do really well with those when you lot them up. But the ones that do the best are the ones that have some sort of an innuendo in the title or on the front.
Oh.
So any kind of like something to do with a girl that, it's just, there was a couple of them that were, I can't recall exactly what it says, but there's a couple of them that are pretty interesting. But
what are the main women? Betty and Veronica, right?
Betty and Veronica.
Veronica's the dark-haired one.
Yeah, and then Betty, and they're all after that. And then there's
Jughead.
Yeah, Jughead and Archie, and then there's another girl on there too that shows up. I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but not as big in the Archie comics. They're interesting reads, but everything came from that. I mean, you think about it, you got Josie and the Pussycats were all in the Archie, and all the different the Sabrina, the witch, the teenage witch, and all those are all they're all in that same universe, But yeah, I mean, but I always say it's just, if you find #1s, 25-cent comics, 12-cent comics, 20-cent comics, if they're in good condition, grab them, especially if
20-cent, 10-cent, 5-cent.
No, I don't. 5 cents would be. I don't even.
Or what did you say? What did you say?
12-cent was the kind of the standard.
12-cent. Okay.
Yeah, 12-cent, and then 20-cent, 25-cent, and 35-cent. 30-cent, 35-cent. Just depends. It's going to kind of tell you the age. As they kind of started getting more and more expensive. Obviously, that's newer, but it doesn't mean that they're not still good. So I just after a while.
Comic, like if you went to the store today, what's a comic? I don't even know what the prices
That's
are.
a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like?
Anywhere from
$5 or something?
$3.99 to $6.99 is a typical comic is today. Some of your modern ones, especially like Virgins and some of the 1 in 25s or something, they might be a little bit more. It just kind of depends. So, but now that the thing is, so now in this day and age, the big thing are variants, right? So you get a modern comic, there's like, you might have issue 1, there might be 500 variants of this.
Gotcha.
Every artist does this, something does it different. So those can range in different prices. Then you have a trade, which has the name of the comic on it, and then you have the Virgin, which has nothing on it. So it's like they get you everywhere, right? So so you just have to kind of pick and choose, I guess, your favorite artist or your favorite picture. That's one of the things that attracted me that originally was the artwork. That I love some of the artwork. I love the.
That's how I feel about wine bottles.
Yeah,
the artwork.
I love the artwork. I like what's inside of them too. So
big fan of Yellowtail.
Yeah.
What's an average ASP then for you with comics?
So, well, I buy cheap. So I try to buy in bulk. So I might buy a lot of comics in one bulk. So I, buy in a small short box or something. But the average selling price, it has been around probably $11 to $12. So, and I'm changing this a lot right now because one of the things that I'm doing, because I have district and dipped it, I'm removing all of the comics on eBay that are really just less than $10 because you think about it, right? If the comic's fair market value is $10 and I'm selling it with free shipping, I'm not really making my $10 on it. But if I sell it on Dibbed It, I might get, $5, $6, $7, $8. I'm going to get more than I'm actually going to make on eBay. So I'm trying to get that up to about $15 because some of the ones I have some comics that are like raw comics that aren't graded that are worth, $150, $200. Some really old ones, but so it just kind of depends. And honestly, I sell a lot of graded comics, so that drives up my ASP a little bit. So,
oh wait, you can get comics graded? You mean like Ray does his Pokemon cards?
Yeah.
Show us an example there, David. Yeah.
I'm so out of the loop.
That's right. No, this is a graded comic. So here's an example. Oh, there we go. This is Venom.
Same company?
The Scotty Young. Yeah. So basically this is done through CGC and that's a graded comic. So I paid maybe, I don't know, maybe $8 for the comic, but it was about $30 to get it graded total. So, and this one I didn't have to have pressed or anything. So, and I noticed I actually missed the tick mark on it. So I still got a 9.8.
This is a question for both you guys then. When you get something graded, is it generally worth the investment to have it graded? Does it significantly increase the value to have it, to spend the $20 to get it done?
It does in some cases not. So you have to be really smart about it. That's why I use several apps. I use Go Collect for graded comics. That gives me a fair market value of what things have sold for the past like 60, 90, 180 days. I also use the Key Collector app, and I also use Cover Price, so I can kind of get an idea of raw and graded comic prices. So I take a look at all these things and try to determine, okay, if I grade this comic and I've got this much in it, it's going to cost me, with pressing and everything on average, it's going to cost maybe $35, just under $40. If you think about it, am I going to be able to make that back? Right? I don't want to do $40 on a comic, spend 40 total and only make 50 on it. Doesn't make any sense. But if I make 80 or 90 or 100, then it does. So you just have to kind of play it by ear. But I also buy graded comics. I'd make it a habit of buying. I search the internet, I search eBay, and I bid on comics that are undervalued and they go cheap, right? So, and then also I bought stuff off of Golden Auctions and what's the other one I'm thinking of? I'll think of in a minute. But the other auction site, Heritage. Heritage. So I bought stuff off of them.
Those are big. Those are auction houses for collectibles, Kristen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So really you pay a little fee sometimes, to get each item, but I've gotten some really good deals there and been able to resell and make my money back on them. So yeah.
So Kristen, if you were for some reason get your baby Air Jordan 1 signed by Michael Jordan,
Oh, okay.
I would
For some
recommend
reason I
you
do.
to take them to Golden Auctions and get them auctioned off.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know.
Like that,
I mean,
that would be.
If somebody can arrange that for me, that'd be awesome.
yeah. It's like
Hey, you never know.
next time you talk to
Where am
talk about.
I going to see this guy?
I wanted to show you, Kristen. I know that you mentioned like what's the benefit about grading. So
Yeah.
I've been picking this card up consistently, and this is my next grade. So I can pick up this card for $2 a piece raw all day long, and if it comes back a 10, it's a $375 card.
So that's
Okay,
a value.
but aren't you just sort of at the mercy of the packaging as to whether or not it's going to be a 10? How do you? I mean,
Well, that's a good thing. Like when I'm going to same
once
thing
you
with
touch
David.
it,
If
it's
he's
not-
going to a comic book show or a trading card show, like I can physically see the card in there and I know what to look for.
Right.
Like if I see a card that's not a 10 contender, then I won't even buy it. But if I see a card that's a 10 contender, I'll spend $100 to get 5 of them graded, and hopefully all 5 of them come back as a 10. And I'm only in it $2 a card.
Yeah, but here's the question that I have about that though. Whenever you're doing your rips or whatever, and then you open it up and it like crinkles it a little bit. Don't you have to be like super gentle and just like people wear gloves when they're talking?
It's not even that. It's not even that, Kristen. Like some of the card, one of the things that they grade is the like if the card is off centered or not. And that's even before you even open the pack from the manufacturer. The card could be crooked.
That's what I'm saying.
So you look at like this, you see that borders on this. There's like one border that's actually bigger than the other, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't get this graded because it's already going to be a bad score because one border is higher than the other. I mean, they look for perfection. They want you to be right in the middle. I mean, it's a hard thing. And you've been doing cards longer. I've been doing cards for a very short time, but comics are the same way. You know, when people pick up a comic book, you know, most time they pick them up and they hold them like this by the spine. Yeah. This is a crappy book, by the way. It's nothing. So I'm showing an example. So you'll get these little spine bends, little ticks, what they call a spine tick. And then, you know, they look for different things like you can get color breaks. People will bend back a page and it'll break the color on it. And if you break the color, then that drops it down a score too. So you can, the thing about comics though, is I don't know if you do this on cards. This is a good question I've got to ask you because I don't know, but you can have a comic book cleaned and pressed, right? And there's a process to it. You can use erasers and, you know, pads and you clean it up and you get all the dirt off of it. And then when you press it, it takes all of the wrinkles out and the spine bends and all that stuff. Most of it will come out. It won't remove a color break, and you never want to try to fix it because then that changes the grade. It changes the comic. It'll show that it was
altered. It'll say it on the grade.
Yeah, it'll say it on the grade. You'll get a purple label or whatever it's called, or green. I can't remember, but you don't want that. So, but pressing and everything else, I don't know if you do that with cards or not.
You can, but it's it's frowned upon, and PSA doesn't like they know if the card's been like polished or cut or any kind of way, and it's not worth it. And you can get your account like suspended.
And for you, for PSA, is that the only one that you use, or
that's the only one that I use, but just because that's the one that brings the most value for the cards that I'm grading. Okay. If like for comics, it's probably different because I know that you grade with what is it, CGC?
CGC, yeah, CGC. Yeah. But the CGC has the ability to send in cards. Like I have a bunch of comic cards, so like Marvel cards that I want to send in. It's a lot cheaper to go to CGC than PSA.
Yeah.
So
we'll see with Pokemon cards, they don't hold their value if you get them graded with CGC.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Collectors don't want CGC graded cards.
How come?
Great question. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, just because of PSA has been around the longest, I guess, and they're the most prestigious one. Yeah, there's a new one called Tag, and they use like AI software to grade everything. It's not like a human grading them. It's a like a machine. Yeah, and so people are kind of experimenting with that.
Is that the green one they show? It's like all green. It's like I see it. I can't remember the name of it, but I see it all over Facebook right now.
It's like a clear. It's clear. I'll bring it up so you can see it. But right now they're actually under fire because the quality on their slabs isn't the greatest, and people just fall apart. So.
Yeah, CGC was going through that too for a while with comics. They were having a problem where the comics were actually getting a bend in them from the slab.
I mean, I wouldn't do it medium mail, but I mean, not with a graded one. But can you ship those medium mail or not?
No. So the thing about media mail is you can't ship anything that has advertisement. Comics have advertising, so anything that has that, you can't ship it. So same as magazines or anything along that line. So you have to ship them regular mail. And shipping the comics, an art to itself is. I see a lot of different people do it, but I only ship mine in Gemini mailers, and they're not cheap. So that's maybe $1 or so. I buy them in bulk, but. Because I want to make sure they're protected when they get there. So
what is it? Yeah, what is a Gemini mailer? I don't know what that is either.
It's a cardboard mailer, but it kind of has a flip that you flip it down and close it, and then you have a way to pull the slab, the top over the comic. Everything goes inside and it's protected between cardboard, and then another layer of cardboard over that, and you close it up and you stuff it in a padded envelope. It's about that's it right there. Yeah, that's one
these
of
are
them.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, so they're very effective. They work very well. I have ones for graded comics, which is the one over to the left of that, and then I have one for regular comics. So I also have some for bulk comics because I do a lot of bulk on Dibdit. I had one sale where I shipped out a box that was 25 pounds to one guy. So I was really selling a lot of comics. I was doing this big, like every time somebody bid, I'd throw another comic on the stack. And some of those stacks got really big, but I was doing it on purpose because I needed to get rid of about 3 short boxes. I swear to you guys, if you saw
a good idea though.
I have so many comics.
Throwing it on there.
Yeah. My wife says some of them have to go because they've taken over the living room, the spare bedroom, and now my office. So.
There you go. Those kind of remind me of those mailers remind me of like when you get vinyl, how they like sit in there, and then it's kind of the same thing.
It's very much similar to that, yeah. Because I mean, you sip the records the same way in those. They kind of fold over and then fold again, and they have an edge to kind of protect them. Yeah.
I like it. But David, thank you so much for coming on. We do greatly appreciate it, and I know that we'll get into a lot more intense stuff in the After Dark episode. So guys, thank you all.
We lost them.
You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay. This week in reselling. My name is Ray.
I'm Brendan. Joe's not here.
And Joe's not here. But guys, make sure you follow David Breezy Flippers on YouTube. Follow him on Instagram. And stay tuned for the After Dark episode.
Yes.
See y'all.